Well, it's been an incredibly busy morning for reporting season, so let's bring in James Gerrish from Shaw & Partners and author of Market Matters to get what he is looking at. CSL is on the top of your list, James. What are we thinking?
Yeah, good morning to you guys. It is a big day on the reporting front, headlined by CSL. So they've delivered their first half 22 result. It looks a really strong beat in terms of the where the market was at in terms of first half numbers. I'll caution that in just a second. But in terms of the revenue, it was a beat. The EBITDA, the EBIT line, I should say, was about a 9% beat to where the market was expecting. They delivered 2.21 billion versus 2.03 billion expected by the market. In terms of their, for the full year, they did say that this result was going to be heavily skewed to the first half. So caution, I'd caution that. In terms of what the market's looking for the full year at the EBIT line, the market's currently at 2.95 billion. So if you cast your mind back and think they've done 2.21 billion for the first half, they're already a long way in achieving those full year numbers. So to me, it's obviously that they've cautioned the skew between first and second half, but it looks a really strong result from CSL relative to market expectations, guys.
What about the recent acquisition, Vifor? What commentary was around that?
Yeah, basically they're saying they're performing as well as they could be expected. There's some, there was some increasing costs. You know, the acquisitions they've just made have more of a first half skew, and that's why we're seeing sort of analyst expectations being a little bit off kilter in terms of the first and second half skews, given what they've seen in these businesses. So they're saying that the second half is going to be a lot weaker than the first half. So I wouldn't read in that we've got a 9% beat in terms of CSL for the result. I'd expect it to be, the market will interpret this as a couple of percent beat. It's been a challenging half for CSL, no doubt. But they're doing a good job, difficult times, etc., etc. It's a high quality company. It's been sold down pretty aggressively. So I think today's result should go some way of allaying some of those concerns that the market's been having in the last little while.
James, another company that's had a difficult year, EML Payments, but revenue's jumping.
Yeah, it is jumping, guys. So, this is, if I sum up this result this morning, so it's the first half 22 result, it is below where they need to be for the full year. So to give you an idea there, so revenue for the half came in at 114.4 million. The underlying EBITDA of 26.9 million for the half. That compares to the market's already at about 62 million for the full year. They have maintained their EBITDA guidance for the full year, which is 58 to 65 million for the full year. But they're currently, the run rate they've got for the first half implies they're going to get to about 54 million. So they're a bit under 10% shy of where they need to be. So it's going to be a big second half for EML to meet market guidance, I would think that, or market expectations and their own company guidance. I think the market will probably have a little bit of scepticism around this one today, guys.
You was talking up open banking in Europe. Is that enough to go and hitch your wagon to when it comes to that story? Of course, we know about the dramas involving the Bank of Ireland last year.
Yeah, there's been a heap of dramas. So, Scotty, you look forward at a company and you say you look at how they're progressing in their markets. It's been a really challenging time for EML, and then they come out with a result today that is, it's under expectations, yet they're still maintaining, hanging their hat on full year guidance. I haven't been on the, there'll be a call later on today, which no doubt we'll jump on, and we'll get more granular details around how they're going to, recoup that, what they need to in the second half, because it's a big task. If you think about, EBITDA of 27 in the first half, and they've got to add another sort of $7.5 million to that in the second half, it's a pretty difficult, it's a pretty difficult run rate to achieve. So I'll be interested to see how they're going to do it. But yeah, you make mention of all the challenges they've faced over the last 6 to 12 months or so. It hasn't been one for the faint-hearted. It's a lot cheaper than it was, and but it'll probably get a little bit cheaper today, I would imagine.
And James, Santos also on your watch list. Net profit up to $658 million versus the loss of $357 million reported last year.
Yeah, Santos, these are full year 21 results for Santos. So, yeah, you made mention of the net profit line. There it is, the full year net profit came in at 946 million. The market was at 950 for the full year. So, that's slightly below expectations in terms of the profit line. They talked up, it's been a huge turnaround for Santos in terms of benefiting from a higher oil price. They're really capturing that higher oil price, and that's dropping down into better earnings. They guided to a strong level of capex moving forward. And there's a few swings and roundabouts in this result. So, financially on first read through, I think it's a very slight miss, but the commentary is going to be important for this one, guys.